morning, and welcome to wet Winnipeg. There be no sunrise this morning, and I don't know if the walkers have come by yet or not. However, I want to try and once again reinforce our little part here. What was it, E1? Yeah, E1. And I will try to not be poking at it. I think what happened was yesterday, if you're watching the 8K special, you will notice that when I was poking it back and forth, all of a sudden that connection turned kind of white. Well, I guess I weakened it again. But what I want to try to do is take some Tamiya. And my apologies to Tamiya for spelling Tamiya wrong in the last episode. Phonetically it was okay, but anyway. I want to take some just the ordinary Tamiya. It's a little bit on the thick side, and maybe it will leave enough, you might call it residue there. Now there is something else I could do. I could just sort of maybe put a little bit of this on there and leave it, and if it still evaporates so much that there's not a lot of what you might call substance there to give it strength, I could maybe put a little tiny bit of CA thick in that spot and just let it cure slowly. That would give it strength. It was not going to be as good as it was when it was new, but anyway. And those of you who watched the 8K special, we got our pen turned part way. The next step will be the sanding and the polishing, which I probably will do all in one video. We'll just wait and see how it goes. You know, a lot of it depends on how I feel at the time. Do I feel like doing it? Well, hey, that's maybe not a good way to look at it, because maybe we should be forcing ourselves to do things that we don't want to do because it's good for us. Or, I don't know, what kind of logic is that anyway? Especially at the model table. It's supposed to be about fun, not about work. Okay, we've had this conversation before as well. Let's get on here and recompose and put the macro lens on and get right in and see if we can do something about that little part, because I'm going to be wanting to stick it on here pretty quick. I think it's in step 35 that they want us to put that on, and we're going to be flipping the page to 35 in a few minutes. So, okay. Now, a few moments ago, when I was getting my glass slides here, which is what I should have done yesterday, instead of foolishly trying to repair this on the green cloth. I guess my thinking at that time was that the extra thin is so thin, it's just going to quickly, go into the cloth and completely evaporate, and nothing's going to happen. And as it turns out, that's basically what happened. Now let's stop poking around here. Okay, anyway, when I was getting the glass slides, I noticed right in the same little box where the slides were was my thing of sprue goo that I made up, it must be 4 years ago now. And I noticed it's still kind of soft. So now what I'm doing here is I'm putting this on this time at a bit of an angle so that the connection will be lifted up off of the glass. Also, you probably can't see it, but right there's a bit of a concave. This is concaved slides. And so we're just going to put this on here very, very carefully here. And then we are going to try not to poke at it this time, aren't we, Ron? Okay, now I want to get it so that it's turned just right. Okay. Does that look okay? Yeah, just trying to get the angle just right. Don't press too hard, you're going to snap the post. Okay, now let's put on our macro lens. Okay, now here is something that I had thought about but I thought it won't happen, and that is that the fibers of the green cloth actually got stuck on here. No, I didn't, like I say, I thought about that, but I thought, well, it won't happen. Yeah, I shouldn't have had it on the cloth. Okay, I think that the thing to do here is maybe try and rehydrate that. Being as I was thinking of rehydrating this joint anyway, maybe that would be the time to just sort of get that off with the applicator. Now, I think maybe what I'm going to do to rehydrate the joint, I'm just going to use the Tamiya extra thin quick setting. Okay, now, here we go. I'm just going to try and wipe that off if I can. I don't know if it's just going to work or if it's just going to become part of the, furniture. Maybe I should look in the monitor. What's happening here? We're not really getting it, are we? But I'm sure that quick setting is running down and getting into the fractures of that. Well, maybe we're just going to have to leave that on there, and it's going to be, part of it. Okay, let's give that about 5 minutes, and then we'll try and apply a little bit of sprue goo. Now, if I remembered to insert the pictures that I just snapped to show you what I'm doing here, how I'm set up, you will see that I have fastened a needle onto the end of one of Gabe's swabs. And the plan here is to try and just put just the tiniest amount on there and let it run down and sort of fill that. Okay, let me check the monitor here. I don't know, did I get enough? Okay, we'll just let that flow down there. And I think that's probably going to help. I don't know if I'm going to have to flip this over and do the other side, or if it's going to sort of flow, Excuse me, I think that's going to be okay, though. It's going to be better than it was. You should remember that I was mentioning that Missy was coming back. Well, we get to see her homecoming. Yeah, she'd spent the whole winter in the country with relatives. And, yeah, well, it's somewhere in all this fur, there's a dog. She needs a haircut. Yeah, poor little thing. Anyway, she's such a friendly little pooch. Nice to see her back. Really nice to see her back. And Penny the cat is back as well. Now, Penny the cat, I can take or leave. But Missy, I'm glad to see.
And Penny the cat.
Okay, quite a bit of time has passed here now. And I have not poked at this thing one time until right now. But my thinking is this. Well, I guess I don't need that there anymore. Very gently now. Just take the tape off. Now I gotta put it back down. Loosen my lid. And this is what I'm thinking. Alright, if I can hold it up close to my face, get rid of this yellow tape here. Okay. Oh yeah, I can actually see the tablecloth on there that I didn't get. I think I can probably scrape that off. But I'm looking at it now from the opposite side. And what I'm thinking is that if I'm careful here, I might be able to just get this around this part. Oh yeah, that's going to be a lot stronger now. A lot stronger. Okay, I think I'm going to let that harden, like maybe overnight, and well, maybe not that long. Yeah, I think probably overnight, and then it's going to get about as hard as it would have been if it, had never been sprue goo. I would think. Yeah, I can see that's going to be a much stronger connection now. So yeah, but I've got to get all those little fuzzies scraped off of there, but that shouldn't be a problem. Okay, let's find a place to put this now where it's not going to stick onto something. Maybe just sort of lay it back down on there for a minute or two. So it's kind of up in the air. Yeah, that'll be all right. Okay, let's move on. Okay, I later stuck it into this foam block, and we're going to put it on top of the mantle clock where it's going to be safe for a while. Now let's move on to, I think we're turning back to step 34. We got something else to do there, don't we? Okay, looking at this, I don't think there is anything left to do on step 34. All these pieces are on. Yeah, all these pieces are on. The only thing left to do is put these little sights, rangefinder things on, or directors, fire directors, and paint. Well, we got to paint first, of course. Okay, let's turn the page here. I would say we are now officially on step 35. And we are going to try and get the railing on this piece, if you remember. Now, before I forget, one of the viewers sent us a photograph that I was going to say clearly shows, well, it's fairly clear. It shows an aerial view of the Iowa before it was commissioned. In other words, when it was practically brand new. And you can see the catwalk on the side of the funnel and how it goes. Now, another thing that really struck me is that you can also see how much more detail there is all over the place of parts and pieces and stuff in general that is not in the kit. It's just, well, let's just look at it. Now, thank you, Jack, for sending that photo. And this build has been, you might say, blessed by viewers who have, been quite helpful that way. And I know that occasionally somebody has been helpful and I haven't appropriately thanked them. And that sort of goes for the comments as well. I generally will reply. In fact, almost always I will reply with, a thumbs up or a happy face or a thank you, so and so. But that's just to let you know that I did see your comment and I appreciate it. Now, occasionally, I might not respond to your comment. And what happens here is it's sort of a case of somebody waves to you, or let's put it this way, you wave to somebody, but they don't wave back. And you get sort of hurt or offended or whatever, and you don't stop to think of, well, it could be a case of they never saw you. Yeah. So if I missed your comment or did not appropriately reply to something, I apologize, but that's the way it goes. Can't get everything right. Now, speaking of getting it right, are we going to use Andy's bender here for this? Or do I use the new Tamiya plier? Okay, it looks to me like this little center's edge right here would be this one right here. I think so. Then it goes in and then straight out. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna use the photo etch plier, and I'm gonna quickly do it off camera. Wish me luck. Okay. Now, let me get this. The light hits it just right here. I'm gonna try and get this adjusted. I was originally going to use the new small plier, and then I was noticing that if I get the wide plier, I'm hoping you can see that it's just about perfect. And I think if I get this flat on here and rock this over like this for that one, and we'll rock it over the other way for the other one. My wrist won't turn far enough. I've got to take another grab at it here. I need a wrist like a robot or something. Somehow this just doesn't look right. Why does this not look right? Oh, I see what's happened. Okay, this one has to go a little bit more yet. Then they'll probably even out. Kind of caught there, isn't it? There we go. Now, how does that look? Get it off. Now if I can just grab hold of it and turn it up here and look at it. Yeah, that's not too bad. Now we want to grab hold of it underneath here. And we want to be bending it about right there. Okay, now how do I do this? I'm gonna have to do this off camera. Now I have just eyeballed our photo etch piece here as to what I think it is supposed to be, and I have not tried it. You're going to get to see it along with me for the first time. Now it had been my hope that somehow this could fit along the outside of this thing, so that this part here, as I mentioned, that I'm touching right now, could act as a very, very narrow platform to walk on. Otherwise, if we set the railing on top of it, it's not going to be realistic. And yet, on the other hand, at arm's length, we're not going to know if it's... Let me just turn this just a little bit here so I can kind of... Ooh, careful. Wedge this in here. Is this going to go or is it not going to go? Oh, Ron, you're all thumbs today. Well, all right. What would happen if we set it on top? Just see here. Okay, now if we were to glue this back section in place, the angles are just about right. So surprisingly right. I'm just having a real hard time here getting it on top. Okay, let's not worry about these ends here. We can fix them later. Let's see if we could glue that bottom rail down on this back part that sort of protrudes out like this. I think though that it has to be bent out. Let's see if a person was to just pull on it slightly. Like that. Yeah, we got the angles better now. Whoops, sticking to my fingers. I'm still in the center of the screen, aren't I? I have a tendency to move myself away, and when I'm editing out, I think, where is it? Okay, maybe I pulled it apart too much. Okay, enough driving myself and you crazy. I'm just going to pause for a minute here. Okay. First of all, it's getting on here this afternoon. And my latest thinking is this. I was having a problem with this piece here. It was moving around on the paper, making it more difficult. Right now I've got one of Gabe's swabs coming up through the hole where the ladder is supposed to go, and everything's being held in place with the helping hands. And my thinking is that now maybe if I can get it up here in the air where I can get at it a little better. Now this may not work either. This is the first time I'm trying it. It may have a tendency to want to fall off. Oops, especially if I bump the helping hands. Did I forget to zoom in? Okay, that's better. Now, can I bring this back? Just get it in the right place and then get some CA thin along that bottom rail on the back. Just try and get it in the right spot here. You know, maybe this is not going to work. Maybe this is not going to work. I almost get it though, don't I? Huh. Well, I don't know what I'm going to be doing about the sprue pan this evening. Right now, I think I'm probably going to be sanding it. We'll see what happens. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I get a coffee visitor. So, yeah, today's Monday. Got to quit a little bit early anyway. And could probably go for a little bit longer, but I don't want to be rushed with my final edit. So I'm going to call her quits here. Thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll see you in the morning.